Mr. Debayo Farouk Oreagba, and Mr. Jacob Nwachukwu. We have been asked to talk about health. One, about cancer and its early detection, and two, stress. I've discussed with my colleagues. They will make the language as simple as possible. But I don't know why I was asked to chair this. For whatever, I have something to say. On the 8th of January 2010, I went for a routine medical checkup. I was diagnosed at 8 p.m. after a whole day's checkup that I had cancer of the right kidney. And from investigation, I have carried it for over 4 years. The doctors were so shocked and surprised that it had not spread. The kidney had taken the shape of badly baked puff-puff. Very, very unusual shape. I give glory to the Almighty God. I did the operation, they removed the right kidney. As I sit here today, I only have one kidney. So every time I see anything about kidney anywhere, I read it from beginning to end. It is my prayer that none of you will face that in your life. But when it does come, I will just give you what happened that day. At about 8 o'clock that evening, my wife and I sat there, and the doctor said, without emotions of any kind, Mr. Emmanuel, you have cancer of the right kidney. We could not talk. By the time I looked at my wife's face, tears were dripping down. It was a story, a thought of helplessness. And now ask the doctor, how long, in anger, how long do I have? And he said, I can't tell you how long you have, but I will say this to you. If we're able to operate within the next 21 days, I, Dr. Rajiv, takes responsibility. But if it's beyond that, you, Mr. Emmanuel, take responsibility. I had to rush back. The following day, wrote my will. Because play is play, joke is joke. I had recognized the reality of the situation. But my Father in heaven said, he's not letting me go. The operation was successful. I would say to you, cancer is real. Please do not chance God the way I did by not checking regularly. I hope you understand. Nobody. I played squash for 28 years. I thought I was indestructible. Ladies and gentlemen, on that very sober note, but with thanksgiving to God, I will call first on Mr. Debayo Farouk Oreagba, you will have a quick brief citation on him.
Debayo Farouk Oreagba. Farouk is a qualified civil engineer and proven financial strategist, in addition to being a sales trader of cash equities, financial and foreign exchange derivatives on various worldwide exchanges. He's currently the head of equity sales trade at African Alliance Investment Bank in South Africa, country executive director for African Alliance Stockbrokers in Nigeria, and head of origination for African Alliance Advisory Private Entity in West Africa. Farouk has been invited to speak at various previous ICAN conferences and he shared with us that he's one of the leading survivors of cancer, and present to you Adedayo Farouk Oriaga.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my president, please allow me to stand on all previous protocols. Thank you. I believe 2008 or 2009, I was invited to speak at this conference, and I spoke about financial and capital markets. Then the stock market was doing its thing. Fast forward to 2017, I'm here again, hopefully to speak to you on something that is more important and will have a bigger impact on all your lives than anything that I've said before. I'm 51 years old. I run an investment bank. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm a cancer survivor. This is my story. I've just gone through that. Number one, it's a known fact. 70% of all cancer deaths can be prevented by early detection. And that's a very, very simple message. If you want to stand a good chance of surviving, get detected early. We just heard another story, which I didn't know. And he said the same thing. My story, I played squash for several years. Must be the squash mister, you play squash as well. Played squash, I played semi-professional rugby in England. I played rugby in South Africa. I've raced motorcycles, partly for a living. I've done all the crazy things that one can do. I never ever thought that it could happen to me. In December 2013, I was with my youngest son, and I wanted to sneeze. And I didn't want to wake my son, so I held it. As I sneezed, I popped a disc in my back. I had a slip disc in December 2013. You go for your massages, everything. I felt good. Fast forward, February 2014, I went for a routine checkup. And when I mean a routine, I did an MRI scan. An MRI scan, most hospitals have them. A lot of the machines don't work, but it's a simple MRI scan. That was on the 3rd of February 2014. I did my scan. A week later, the initial results came through, and as my chairman said, the doctors have a very cold way of telling you bad news. They said, Mr. Oriaga, your results indicate symptoms of, there's a high probability of malignant activity. I said, please speak English. He says you have cancer. I said, me, it's not possible. I'm 47 years old. I'm a big guy. It's not possible. I went for further tests. It was confirmed that I was stage 1. I had stage 1 multiple myeloma, which is bone marrow cancer. It has no cure. Now, as my chairman said, a whole lot of emotions, will not go through that. I was married, I had 3 kids. And I was at the height of my career, and I'd just been told I had a disease that had no cure. Now, there are 2 things you do. You either go and jump in the river, or, like me, or anyone that knows me, I'm as stubborn as they come. God does not give you a problem that you cannot solve. It's up to you to decide how you do it and how you go about it. So, having been confirmed that I had cancer, I started chemotherapy in April 2014, which was 3 months, 2-3 months after I was diagnosed. It's not a nice thing. I'm not going to go into the details. In August, later on that year, I had a bone marrow transplant. I'll try and show you some pictures. that's me. If you notice, I'm still smiling. That's in the middle of my transplant, because I never for 1 second thought I would not win this battle. It's very important. I had my transplants. I got rid of a lot of the cancers. There were some residuals, and I went back for further chemotherapy. On the 4th of January 2015, I had some more tests, and it was indicated that I was in partial remission. Now understand, my cancer cannot be cured. The most that can happen is it goes into remission. It's going to come back. But when it comes back, I'll deal with it. We'll talk about that then, hopefully. Interestingly enough, on the 3rd of February 2015, exactly 365 days after my scan, I went into complete remission. 1 year. In between, I'd done a transplant, and that's why I stand here before you. I'm not going to go into the medicals. What I want to talk to you about now is, why am I standing here? Because I was detected early. That is number one. It scares the living daylights out of everybody. You need to have your checks done. The only chance you have is to be detected early. Now, looking at the whole ICAN conference, nation building, how do you as accountants make a difference to Nigeria? Well, for starters, let's try and save some lives. It's one thing me telling you to go and have your scans. My chairman said have your scans, but if there's no way for you to go and have your scans, it's of no use to the man selling pure water, the woman selling pure water. So what did I do? I'm not a doctor. So I made it until, my time is up, to create awareness about the fact that cancer can affect anybody, but more importantly, that it can be beaten. Looking at Nigeria in this context, it's very obvious that there are not enough screening centers. Screening is not readily available to the man on the street, and therefore he doesn't stand a chance of being detected early, which automatically increases the odds that he or she is going to lose their lives. So what we've done, and this is what I'm trying to, I hope some of you will take away, because we need people like accountants. I set up a charity, and I ask you, setting up screening centers is not a lot of money. You will find out, if you look around, most hospitals have screening centers, but they're not functional. They don't have money. I hope there's no vice chancellors here or children of vice chancellors, but if you take your typical teaching hospital, before they dedicate money to the screening center, they have to take care of his diesel, his security, and God knows what. It's not a priority. The only people that can make it a priority are people like you and I. And why is that? Because it can affect any one of us in this room. I'm living testimony to that. Now, what we did, and I'm hoping this is just an example, we set up a charity. It's called EDCAN, standing for Early Detection of Cancer Can Save Lives. And what we set out to do was to try and get as many screening facilities available to the people in the street. We identified one, which was called the NMC at University College Hospital, Ibadan. They had 64,000 euros worth of debts because they imported a lot of materials. And because of that, they shut down. By shutting down, this was a place that anybody could walk into and get screened. I'm not talking about the treatment. Get the screening done. Then we can talk about the treatment. That's somebody else's problem. In January 2017, we set up the charity to create awareness. In February 2017, having never done anything like it, I ran the 42-kilometer Lagos Marathon. I completed it with a film crew. to raise money and to raise awareness and to show people that if I can do it, anybody else can do it. I'm 51 now, by the way. We raised money for the center in UCH. We raised 1.5 million in 7 days. In July this year, we presented a check of $10,000 to NMC at University College Ibadan. We also followed, we guaranteed another $50,000 interest-free loan to NMC to help it serve its patients. You got to look at this. The cost of scans just in Ibadan ranges from 4,000 naira to 50,000 naira. That's it. You don't have to go. You don't have to go to India or Dubai or anywhere. This is how we are trying to make a difference. And considering you're talking about nation building, I think each and every one of you in this room has that responsibility too, because you can't do it alone. We have now got NMC in Ibadan up and running. It's now treating patients. One other crucial factor as accountants, what we've done is, there's no point giving money to this hospital and then in 2 years' time, like our governors who collected money 2 years ago are now looking for more money. Sorry. I had to put that one in. There's no point saving or funding an entity only for it to go back into debt 2 years later. One of the crucial things we are doing at NNC is, this is where my finance comes in, we've restructured it such that it can stand on its own 2 feet as a commercial entity, such that it does not have to rely on the university for funds in order to deliver the services for which it exists. And that's where you come in. Every accountant in this room can play that role. Identify a charity. Sorry, that's me and my family. Identify a charity, and that's the message I want to say. It can affect any one of you, so therefore you have to do something. Don't wait until you get to stage 3 or stage 4 when you're in the checkout lounge and you don't stand a chance. I think hopefully if each and every one of you, or even 10% of you in this room, walk away to try and do something. Identify a hospital. Go to Luth. Go to any hospital wherever. See if they have these facilities. If they are they functional? If not, find out why. It's usually money. Set up a charity, or within yourselves, be it ICAN as a body, or some of you as firms, go in, try and make a difference. But whenever you do, make sure you also leave it in a way whereby it can function as a commercial entity on its own, so you don't have to go back there in 2 years' time. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my story. As far as I'm concerned, if I can make a difference to one person, don't be fooled. You don't have to be a smoker. I have seen 2-year-old kids die of cancer when I was doing chemo. I still do chemo. I still do chemo every week, and I will do it until my last breath. But don't feel sorry for me. I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm 51 years old. I intend to live at least another 30, 40 years, God willing. And hopefully, most of you guys will be here with me. Thank you very much. That's my story. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. I believe that it's made an impact on you. But it's not enough for you to listen to Adedayo. I believe you need to ask yourself a question. Am I indestructible? Am I exempt? I will say to you with confidence that the moment you are born, you are susceptible to any kind of ailment. It is how you handle it that matters. Talking about cancer, I know the majority of our members are men, The most popular one amongst men now, or most notorious one among men, is prostate cancer. I beg you, I really do beg you, that within 30 days of this conference, which ends on Saturday morning, promise yourself that you will go for a full screening test. Who are those that are making the promise to their colleagues? Raise up your hand if you are determined to do that. Raise up your hand as a promise to yourself and to your colleagues. It's only God that determines for us. May God bless you and may you be safe. For the female members, the most popular is the breast cancer and the cervical cancer. Please do the same. I beg you. I really do. Because when I was told, before I went in for the routine checkup that day, I went through my diary, and my wife and I were discussing when we shall get the next plane back. Because I had this board meeting, I had that meeting, I have this conference, I have that to do. I listed them, and I said, so we must catch the flight back quick, so I don't miss any of them. When I was diagnosed with cancer, did I remember any of these? May the good Lord give you the wisdom to look after the one body that He has given you. On that note, I will call on, our regular to come and talk about Jacob Nwachukwu.
To speak about wearable technology for stress management, we have Dr. Jacob Nwachukwu. He's the medical doctor and a specialist in stress management. He's the president and founder of Blood Pressure Control Foundation and a distinguished fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Management. Dr. Nwachukwu graduated from the College of Medicine, University of Lagos in 1985 with a Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery (MBBS) degrees. He's the executive chairman of Corporate Medicals and managing director of Allianz Energy Limited, expressing multi-level partnerships through experience, expertise, and enterprise. He's a member of many professional groups, including Nigerian Heart Foundation, Nigeria Internet Group, Nigeria Hypertension Society, Nigerian Institute of Safety Professionals, and is the direct member of the World Organization of Family Doctors. Dr. Nwachukwu has been in the forefront in championing preventive cardiology and has presented scientific papers, giving numerous lectures at conferences, seminars, television interviews, and newspaper publications in the areas of hypertension, diabetes, stress management, occupational health, and prevention of sudden death. Dr. Nwachukwu is a certified master trainer at Omron Academy of Hypertension in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, in March 2016, conducted in partnership with the British Hypertension Society. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Jacob Nwachukwu.
The distinguished president of ICAN, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on the existing protocol because the chairman of this session, my good friend, Chief Emmanuel Ijewere, have given a directive that we manage time effectively, and we do exactly that. Well, I think most of the things I wanted to say by introduction have already been mentioned in connection with health and the need for us to give ourselves more attention to our health. Many will wonder, why are we talking about wearable technology and the stress management? Well, learning is a continuously throughout life. And we know that when we want to learn, we engage, explain, explore, and then apply. Without applying knowledge, no knowledge is useful or meaningful. And that's why Eric Hoffer said, in a time of drastic change, only the learners inherit the future. The learned often find themselves equipped to live in a world that no longer exists. Things are changing every day, and we must be able to move forward in order to be in consonance with that. Although some people may have a mindset which actually is a mental disposition that makes a person to predetermine, prejudge, presume of non-allocability of things, even when they have not really tried it. People with this mindset, well, nothing can change. Whatever happens, whatever we do, we do. That is their slogan. But people with growth mindset, man, things can change. And that brings us to health. When we say health, we are here because we are alive and well. World Organization defines health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. But we know that wellness is a continuum. On the left, you find illness. On the right, you find wellness. Some people are just at the neutral point at the middle, where they are neither sick nor well, sickness today, wellness tomorrow. And what we want is for people to move progressively to the right, to maintain and sustain good health. But please note, the desire to be healthy is nothing without the corresponding desire to prevent diseases. Mere wishing that you are healthy is not sufficient for you to be healthy. No matter your competence, your ambition in life, and where you want to go in life, is predicated on the fact, on an assumption that you will be alive and well. If you are not alive and well, all those things will come to nothing. So, well, we are looking at disruptive technology. Certain things have been happening in a certain way, and certain innovations come in to make whatever has been happening before meaningless or no longer useful. In fact, it's a deliberate attempt to change the status quo or to question the status quo. That's why in health today, we are talking of wearable technology. Certain devices that can be on your person and can make a lot of difference. There are small electronic devices that can be worn on the body, often consist of one or more sensors. That is the underlying factor of all the wearables. They must have the sensor. Now, they measure both baseline and the progress. Like if I check myself of a certain parameter in the morning, as the day progresses, I'll be able to see what effort or the progress I'm making. Generally, wearable technology will have some form of communication capability. In other words, as they gather data as weight on your person, they can transmit it automatically even at a distance to a long range at a remote computer somewhere else. Unfortunately, whether the device is worn or incorporated in the body, the purpose of wearable technology is to create constant, convenient, seamless, portable, and mostly hands-free access to electronics and computers. And that's the reason why these are now the common way to go. What are the key enabling technologies? Recent advances in sector technology electronics have enabled development and the deployment of wearable systems for patient monitoring. There are certain things patients will put on the body, and doctors at a remote place can be able to monitor the progress of the patient. But the patient is at hospital and doctors at home will be able to make contact. So the miniature sensor is the real thing. Surprisingly, you may not be aware that even in textiles, certain things are printed in textiles or certain metals are used in the production of the textile that when you wear a cloth, it will emit the signals to a distance. And that's why we don't even know what is happening today. You put a particular cloth, nobody knows the signals is emitting and can be able to transmit it even at a long place. Well, a sensor acquired physical parameter and convert it into signals. Like if you use a stress sensor, you touch it, a color change because you pick vibrations from your fingertips and translate it into a color. Now, what are the locations of the body you find these wearables? What piece of jewelry, ring, wristwatch, necklace, earring, and buckles? You may discover that in future, gentlemen will put on earring. You think it's for fashion. You may not know that it's a wearing that gathers information of what's happening in his body and transmit it to somewhere else. Maybe you find council members of ICAN wearing a uniform earring to get them to be identified. So wearable technology is real and it's already here. Look at this. This kind of eye goggle, you may not know. When people wear certain eye glasses that have certain shapes, you may not be aware that it's used in gathering data. Even ladies, you can see this one. This one is a ring, it's a type of ring. And when you put the ring like this, you can see it's also telling you the time. But more than that, it has a sensor that's accumulating data. Even the inner wears, they are now implantable wearable in the inner wears that can be gathering data as the person is moving. Or some people will wear something like wristwatch and then something like bangles that many people wear. When you are driving, even a wearable can tell you when stress is coming and when to slow down, because on record of people driving alone, nobody talks to them, have slumped and died. So when you feel the signal learning, it's like telling you, take it easy, and it's adaptable at that point that you need to stop. Now, how do they work? The end goal of wearable technology is to make tasks easier, more efficient, more effective, and simply more fun. All these devices are part of quantifiable movement, self-movement. And of course, ultimately, they are part of Internet of Things. Internet of Things. It's an all-encompassing phrase that describes interconnected digital gadgets that log, report, and control data from their body. So the Internet of Things, network of things with places, devices, vehicles, buildings, and other items embedded with electronics. That is why certain activities happen in a place, and you are unaware that there are sensors that are physical activities that will record it or replay it when it arises by way of investigation. Now, what are the benefits? Increasing productivity. Now you can be sure that signals coming or signals you're obtaining from your body indicate that you are healthy, so you become more productive. Enhancing situational awareness, you now know what's happening to you. Outstanding wealth, readability, and of course increased speed. Same things are accomplished with over a longer period of time. It's now done with a shorter period of time. And of course improved task accuracy. Of course, you know as an accountant there must be accuracy. What are the challenges? Cultural barriers. That you will say anything people don't understand what it's all about. There's a stigma. Look at what the man is wearing. Technological barriers, for instance, battery availability. Design constraint. It may not be convenient for you to put it the way it has been designed. High power consumption, short battery life, and of course user restriction. You can't live in certain security areas, and sometimes these devices can be hacked. Somebody can hack it at a distance, and then it can kill the patient. Yes, and that's some of the dangers. Now, when we say wearable technology and stress management, we have to understand what is this stress. Under the circumstances we are going to wear this technology. Stress, by definition, is an emotional and physical response. Experience when there is an imbalance between demand and resources. Certain things are demanding of you, but you feel you don't have the resources, possible resources, to be able to counter it. And that's why you may become stressed. So it's manifest when the body is required to perform beyond its normal role. Like you are doing your work in the office, but what normally done by 2-3 people, you are doing it alone. However, take note that anything you feel is stressing you, you are the one making interpretation. If you take us say, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. In other words, what you feel is stressful to another person may be a laughing matter. So this is perception and stress. Demand and resources often at times they don't balance very well. Unlike in accounting where they account must balance. Now, what is the physical difference between anxiety and the fear? Anxiety simply means unknown or ill-defined fear, irrational fear. The fear may not be there in reality, but to the perception see there's something to fear. And of course, at the other end, you also have the real fear itself. The reality is that whether it is an imagined fear by your consciousness or the real fear, the impact of the stress on you is the same. In other words, the way you react, because you suspect that there's a snake here, and you end up being not a snake, you are very reacted by running away, just as you would do if it's an ordinary snake. Ability to the social ability to cope with stress. Now, let's remember that it's like a body. Each of the stressing factors you have is a body. Let us say you have a nagging spouse who will not allow you to have peace of mind at home, and you are having challenges to gain a contract to audit that firm. The one you audit before there was a question mark. All these are loading. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe by the time you have this 4, you are just managing. Now, if the fifth one is added to it, that is the last straw that will break the camel's back. Maybe the fifth one may be just somebody abusing you. That abuse can overload already the load you are carrying, and the person will collapse and die. That is why one woman just slapped the husband. He says that just one small slap. That's why the man collapsed and died. He doesn't know the other body he has been carrying. He slapped just ended up the last on the camel's back. So the person's capacity to feel anxiety depends on how much energy you have available. All the other things will sap your energy step by step. So if you have sufficient energy, a slap you can withstand it. But somebody has already been slapped by so many other bodies. One slap can just be the end of the matter. Now, what of personal defects? People that have the characteristics such as anger, fear, laziness, indecision, lying. Each time you lie is a burden by way of stress. And of course, being pessimistic. All these are characteristic personal matters that will tend to weigh you down. So such undesirable characteristics, they consume your thoughts, your energy by day, robbing you of mental energy that you need to withstand. So when there are many personality defects, and all these defects accumulate together, it weakens your capacity to withstand when real stressful situation comes up. As a result, in different people, a varying amount of energy is available to face the same stress. So you see why one could be provoked by a single abuse, another one will laugh and go over it. Now, personality as a cause of stress. Another important point is to recognize that a situation by itself is never stressful. It's the way you interpret it. For instance, when you are invited for a party, people are happy to go and mingle and jingle with others, but somebody who is reserved, when you tell people they say this one is reserved, to expose yourself to the public can become a very serious stress, and that can make him to suffer stress consequences. What can we do to build up your personality? Work-life balance. Walk 4 blocks. Life 4 blocks. You must balance it in between. Because if you don't balance your work and life, it can put you in a certain situation. This man, the wife is chartered accountant, and that is why he's doing like this. So, work-life balance is a comfortable state of equilibrium achieved between employer's primary objectives, priorities, and the employment position and their private lifestyle. In short, work-life balance empowers employees to split time and energy between work and other important areas of life successfully. Time to work and time to play. For some people, it's only work, no time to play at all. So that's why you must remember work, remember family, remember friends. Some people don't have friends, and remember yourself, just as the chairman has said. That's the only time you are balancing work and life. Now, when somebody is under stress, what do you feel? What are the symptoms? Physically, you feel like chest pain and heart palpitation. Mentally, you feel like poor memory, no sense of humor. He can't laugh or smile. Maybe he took quinine when he was young, and the bitterness never left the mouth. Some may have emotionally felt like anger, depression, irritability, any small thing provoke him. That's why they say, leave that man alone, I don't want his trouble today. Behaviorally felt like crying, especially ladies, when they have done something and been reprimanded. If crying can give you forgiveness, you are free to cry. And of course, cognitive stress response, reduction in ability to think clearly, remember accurately, especially in the exam hall. Those of you that pass through ICAN, sometimes it will be cool, sometimes it will be hot. That can be sort of stress. Now, but remember that stress can lead to ill health and death. Just as we know the physical expression, there are other internal damage going on by way of chemicals called hormones. One of them is cortisol, that will suppress the immune system, weaken our ability to fight infection, and then we become more sick when we understand, just like the first speaker mentioned. No adrenaline will constrict blood vessels, the channel through which the blood is flowing will tighten up, blood pressure will go up, and of course, it can cause heart attack. Persistent high blood sugar level occurring prolonged this leading to diabetes. So that explains the triangle between hypertension, diabetes, and stress. And chronic distress can also lead to severe anxiety and depression, disabling mental illness, nervous breakdown, and suicide. Some people under stress will start to contemplate suicide. This life is no longer worth living. Look at this bank manager, copied verbatim as it was reported in Vanguard. He came to the office and said he was suffering from stress. They gave him very bad advice. They said, go home and rest. Somebody tell you I need help, and say, go and help yourself. Of course, he went home and committed suicide. Look at this one. Stress killed my father. He's one of these professors telling you that stress can be dangerous. People now recognize it. He's narrating how he felt and was shocked that it was stress that killed the father. But who wants to get rid of all stress? Only one group of people. Once we are in the vision of RIP, rest in peace, no more stress. And that's why they are resting in peace. But up to that time, they're stressed. You only need to know how to cope with it. Now, how do you then cope with stress? Lower your expectation. Don't give unrealistic targets to your workforce and to yourself. Ask others to help or assist you. You cannot do or know all the accounting alone. Take responsibility. Engage in problem solving. Express distortion emotion. Tell others the way you are feeling bad. Don't bottle it up. Maintain emotional supporting relationship, make friends anywhere you go. I don't know if at the end of this conference you are supposed to make at least 20 friends, new ones you didn't know before. Maintain emotional composure and stability. For anything, no shaking. Go to places of worship. Manage time effectively. Avoid unfair judgment. Learn to relax. Eat and drink sensibly. Stop smoking and other bad habits. Exercise regularly. Maintain a healthy sense of self-esteem. Self-esteem means liking yourself for what you are. But some people don't like themselves. If you point at him in anger and say, you short man, you get angry. But when we measure him, he's actually short. Let's say because he don't like himself. Ladies and gentlemen, remember that stress does not come alone. We are rounding up. Stress, attention, and diabetes often come together. And that is what we refer to as triangle of silent killer. Attention and diabetes and stress must be the triangle of silent killer. In the past, they appear to be death-sentence, but the time has come to empower the populace with appropriate information and disseminate message of hope. So attention will just summarize it, but take note that researches have been done. Professor Obi and Professor Modi did a research autopsy. People that died suddenly, 264 of them, hypertension was present in all. In other words, if there is a sudden death, it's hypertension unless autopsy proves otherwise. Heart is only one per person. When the blood flows round, it's measurable. The force we put is flowing, and that's what we call blood pressure. When blood pressure reading is less than 140/90 normal, 140/90 and above, we say the person is having hypertension. Complications include stroke, heart attack, kidney failure, blurring of vision, and peripheral disease. And sudden death, where they often say the enemies are doing their work. How do we manage? First question, only lifestyle. Change the way you live your life. Do not smoke, reduce weight, monitor your blood sugar, check cholesterol, restrict salt, exercise, minimal alcohol, reduce stress, and of course, to check your blood pressure at home. These are the. But when you do all this and it's still high, the doctor will recommend medication. No room for self-medication. Keep exactly as instructed. Don't increase, reduce, or stop unless the doctor so advises you. Target blood pressure means blood pressure must be really less than 140/90. If you never live above that in any adult. Self-measurement is the key. As Dr. always say, helping others is good, but teaching them to help themselves is better. That's why we now teach everyone to know how to measure. The last point, modern methods of diabetes management. That simply means blood sugar is higher than normal. Higher insulin is not good in quantity or in quality. That's simply what it means. But the key is that it will not give you any symptoms. Until after 10 years, some of the symptoms will include extreme thirst, constant hunger, frequent urination, unexplained weight loss, thinking or numbness, foot ulcer that fail to heal, and blurring of vision. This will compel you to the hospital. But good way to diagnose, when you check from time to time, you pick it early when the damage has not been done. Look at green light, less than 100. Yellow, watch it, pre-diabetes, 100 to 126. And once you 126 and above, the person is having diabetes. So the fasting blood sugar must be checked to confirm. Of course, complications include heart attack, stroke, hypertension, and complication, eye disease, and that can lead to blindness, nerve damage leading to gangrene amputation, kidney disease, sexual concerns, and diabetic coma. Management is simple: 5 pillars: exercise, diet, diabetic education, monitoring, and medication. Among all these, the most important one is monitoring, because you must have glucose meter to measure at home to know whether it's going up, coming down, or the same. Without the glucose meter, treatment is meaningless. And these are simple devices anyone can do with simple instruction and do it right. Good control measures, fasting blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol will all be within ideal range. Medication comes last, E-textiles and diet first. But have you checked your blood sugar? It is good to check from time to time so that you don't need to wait. Finally, practical application. Hypertension, diabetes, and stress, triangle of silent killers. And we must address these conditions that may take us unaware, because if we don't do that, then we may be at the risk of sudden death. So the triangle of the balance, blood pressure check, all these checks to avoid medical tourism, where people fly over to foreign lands when damage is already done. Now, this is your check. Make sure cholesterol is normal, all these parameters must be normal. Well, there are tools to check blood distress with a sensor card. All these are the wearables that you need to carry on your person from time to time. Ladies and gentlemen, please always remember that your heart is your life. don't ignore its well-being. Because accountants don't know that not everything that counts can be counted. May your blood pressure remain normal always. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jacob. I knew he was going to thrill you, but in the process, educate all of us. It's been a very exciting. In actual fact, he specializes in going around professional conferences to alert people of these dangers is listed there. Some takeaway, or not takeaway, retain is you must promise yourself that for coming to this conference, which is not free, you will make a minimum of 20 friends you did not know before. Do we agree? Do we accept it as a challenge? Is it a positive challenge? All right? Please, do that too. The other issue that we discussed with the brought-in lab is the hypertension, the diabetes issue. It's getting very, very common in Nigeria and indeed in Africa. Please, 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 go to see your doctor and let him use a glucometer on you to determine whether or not you are diabetic or you're on your way to doing so. Please, the sooner you do that, the better. The doctor is your friend. It is cheaper for you to get diagnosed than face the treatment. The inconvenience that comes with it is better imagined than experienced. Ladies and gentlemen, we have had so much. This is one thing that is personal to you. You are the one that will make it happen. You are the one that will make it useful. What both Adedayo and Jacob have said are for your own personal good. And the other one where he gave an impression that men who are married to chartered accountants end up carrying babies on their back. I will ask you to delete that for any future word. Jacob, you hear? I will sue you because our ladies are very good at marrying the right people. And those right people, they respect them. And they respect them in return. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll just take a few questions because Adedayo actually is flying to Lagos to catch a flight to Johannesburg tonight. That's where he is. He flew in from there and is flying back there. You know, he is 57. No, 51. Oh, sorry, we'll get there. But he is 51. And what he is doing actually right now is that he wants to tie in as much work as possible between now and the day Papa in heaven will say, come home. This guy, he has no dull moment. So we'll just oblige him by having a few questions and then we have get answers from them. Who are those that want to ask questions? We hear there's so much light in our eyes. Let us see. Hold on. How many groups are there this time? We have this is the Senate, that's the Federal House, this is the State House, this is local government. Yet, can we have somebody from the Senate?
My name is Anthony.
Yes, please. Louder, please.
I said my name is Anthony from Ghana.
No protocols, just get on. Mention your name and ask your question.
It's not a question, but I want to ask Dr. Jacob how he get this slide. That's all. How do I get this slide?
With this slide, the man carrying.
Dr. Jacob.
Show
us. I want that slide.
Which slide now?
What Dr. Jacob? All
of it.
Presentation, yes.
Okay. That's okay, fine. Thank you very much. The organizers will make sure you get it. Yes, next one.
My name is Taiwo, 7499. My question is, how often do we need to do the MRI? I learned that maybe it's 5 years, I wouldn't know. So what is the timeline?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, Anybody else there?
Hello.
Yes, okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Bukumola Kimola, membership number 5947. Sir, I just wanted to shed more light on one disorder called aneurysm. Now, I am a survivor of what they call cerebral aneurysm. It happened in 2014, and I have not, up to now, I have not understood the causes. And it's sudden death when it happens. Thank you.
So we give glory to God that you survived.
Yes.
Can we all clap for the Almighty? Yes, who is the next person?
My name is Anna. My membership number is 20859. I lost my daddy from prostate cancer. So I want to set up a foundation. So I want to ask my brother. He said you could walk into any hospital, find out if their machine is working or is not working. If it's not working, you set up one, but if it's followed after 2 years, you don't go back to say it's not working. So I want to understand how I would do that.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Lamin Jai from the Gambia, FCCA.
Give him a round of applause.
Thank you for that wonderful presentation, Doctor. My question is, I've been seeing adverts going on that you can actually check your blood pressure, you can check your all other things in case if you are sick also. Is it true that it's possible to check your blood pressure or to check for diabetes without having the blood sample collected from any other device? I've seen those things.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Chechi Ibemere, FCA, membership number 1272. My question to Dr. is, you talked about high blood sugar level. I have an aunt and my aunt's help that they were rushed to the hospital, they fainted, and on getting to the hospital, we were told that they have low blood sugar level. Please, can you explain what is the cause of this and how it can be prevented? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Yes.
I'm Dr. Atu Omi Jobs, I think Kisley, FCA, stand-alone candidate, council election. I enjoyed the lecture because I just survived a stress attack. In my place of work, the community, many people are running away from me because they don't know how I was able to survive the stress attack that happened 12 September, just 2 months ago here. So, and the lecture given here now is on stress. I don't know how to get the full lecture, that is one. Then two, I attended stress management lecture like this about 6 months ago, and they said one of the ways to reduce male prostate is to be ejaculating 21 days in a month. How true is that?
Thank you very much. I think all those who are shouting are either they feel that it's a very good thing to do, or they don't want to be the victim of such act. Please carry on.
Thank you. My question is actually directed to our brother here. Continue to be your strength. You talked about this diagnostic center in Ibadan. The reason why is actually most of the diagnostic centers that we have in Nigeria seems something is either wrong with them, or maybe the people interpreting whatever the diagnosis is that is getting it wrong. I came out purposely for information to our colleagues because I just lost a friend, a colleague, a fellow of our institute. when he started having problems, he was complaining like he had pain in his stomach. And eventually, he went to 3 different hospitals and he was diagnosed as somebody having ulcer. And he was being treated for ulcer. We were even making jokes because he used to like stout. He would say, give me 1959. So he was stopped from drinking. So we were making jokes. He was carrying all this milk of magnesia and all that about. Until recently when the thing took a drastic turn that he was saying this pain is becoming too much. Then he went to last week and he now diagnosed that like he's having a mass in his stomach. With the mass, the doctor eventually recommended him to go to the private hospital of that doctor treating him in last week. And they discovered that the thing has grown so much that it cannot be operated upon. And they took a bit to test. Eventually they discovered it was malignant.
Malignant?
Yes. Perhaps if that diagnosis that has been going through different hospitals had been correctly diagnosed, he would not have died. We lost him a couple of months ago. So the question is, how good is this center?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. I think that's the last one, isn't it? Oh, no, 2 more.
Thank you. My name again is Itack membership number 6017. I will start from what the last speaker said. There appears to be a very rampant increase in cases of stomach cancer. I can count my fingers. It's about 4 people that I know recently, in the last 2 months, have died of stomach cancer. What is the cause, doctor? My own question, I'm wondering the effectiveness of herbal medication for stress management. Reason being that if you go out there now, we have all sorts of herbal medications claiming to do almost everything in the world. How effective are these medications? Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
My name is Olagunju Mutarayo. Some lectures I've attended on cancer. They said it's a function of what you eat or drink. And because of your lecture, you said it's not all about that. I want to give more clarification on that. And you said in the course of your lectures that the first thing you noticed was when you sneezed. So is there any, what are the symptoms of this cancer? And the third one is, what age do you start bothering about going for all these tests?
Thank you very much. I tell you, you are old enough to go for the test. Yes, please carry on.
My name is Olumide Bama, membership number 014067. My question goes, this is the era of technology, and like one of the presenters said, we have things like body sensors. We get SMS and messages in our phone all the time about the disruptive effect of this technology on our health. For example, I received messages saying that you shouldn't sleep with your handset under your pillow and things like that. It goes on and on. So I don't know how true this is, and if it is true, then how can you use this technology without adversely affecting your health? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyway, I think Adedayo, you go first. Thank you.
Okay. I'll try and answer as many as possible. Taiwo, you were asking how often do you need an MRI scan? Just to say, the reason before I was diagnosed, before I did my MRI scan, I had done a full medical. But I'd done my prostate, I'd done the kidneys, I'd done everything. I passed. Unfortunately, or fortunately, The only way to detect the form of cancer that I have, which is multiple myeloma, which is basically bone marrow cancer, is either wait for it to get to the later stages, God forbid, or you do an MRI scan. I was lucky. In general, if you're old enough to be in this gathering, you should be doing your medical at least once a year. That's just a simple thing. And that's my suggestion. I mean, doctor may say something else, but if you do a full medical, at least once a year, you're walking along the right path. The MRI aspect is only to determine certain other aspects of cancer that are not picked up at the early stages. That's where I was lucky. Anna, you said you lost your dad and you want to set up a foundation. How did we do it? We registered it. I'm going to put some information out with the organizers about what I've done. But we set up a foundation, we registered it, we ticked all the boxes, particularly when you're collecting money from third parties. They need to make sure that you're not about to run away with it. But a lot of it also has to do with the integrity of the people that you associate with. Well, I'm lucky, I'm a banker, I know a lot of people, and we created a lot of publicity. And like I said, my first event, the charity was set up in January, and we had radio coverage. I was on TV. If you Google me, you'll find my details. It's on YouTube. And then Access Bank supported us, and being as I'd never run a marathon before, they also had some medical people not too far away from me, just in case I collapsed. But God Almighty gave me the strength to pull through. We created the awareness. So in terms of setting up your foundation, main thing, what are your objectives? I'm trying to create awareness about cancer and its early detection and the benefits of it. You set up what your goals are and your objectives. If the populace buy into your objectives, they will support you. If you want to set up a foundation to build your own house, they may not be so generous. But if it's something that is in a good cause, which is why I'm here, they will support you. And on that note, I'd like to thank the conference organizers for supporting me and flying me in from South Africa yesterday, and I'm going back today, and I thank you for that as well. There was something about blood pressure, that's not for me. Diagnostic Center in Ibadan. Well, the NMC, it's actually called the Nuclear Medicine Center. Don't forget the name. What it does, it uses nuclear technology as part of the screening process. It is actually part funded by the United Nations. It is run by a professor called Professor Osifo. She's 81 or 82. And it had a high success rate. It has a history. And then all of a sudden, it stopped. And by the time we started asking questions, why has it stopped? I mean, we talked to different hospitals. They said, oh, this is the main one. We checked it up, it has stopped. Why? You owe importers 64,000 euros. Is that it? But there were other issues, because like I said, it's not just about giving the money. And this goes on to another question that was raised by a lady who was asking, I think she was asking about, people get diagnosed wrongly. One of the things we have done is, one of the conditions for giving money is to allow us to restructure. There are people who look at the qualifications of the people who are employed there. So somebody doesn't bring his mother's uncle, sister's daughter and put her there to be given wrong diagnosis. No. There are layers of bureaucracy in some of these places that are taking away hard-earned money from the causes for which they needed. We remove that. It was made as a condition. You don't collect my money unless you agree to this. People are giving their time. Accountants, some of your colleagues here are giving their time to help restructure this thing. We're not getting paid. And when we finish with Ibadan, we'll move on to another one. And if some of you people have, some of you guys here have set up your own, the more the merrier. We want to bring affordable screening to the people of this country so people don't have to go to Dubai and India and pay millions and die unnecessarily. So I'll drop some information on Nuclear Medical Center, but it is one of the best in Nigeria historically, and now it is functioning. It is one of the best, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of diagnostic capability. Ada said, it talked about the increase in cancer occurrence. What is the cause? To be honest with you, I'm not a doctor, but there's so many factors. But I tell you what, your lifestyle plays a big part. Whether you drink, you smoke, you do this, you do that. Bad luck plays a part. I used to have, I didn't put the picture in the slide because I thought it might be a bit emotional. I am there with a 2.5, 3-year-old kid who we used to go for chemotherapy every week. May his soul rest in peace. This kid is dead. He was sitting there, the only life he knew was the life of a cancer sufferer. And he's telling me he's going to be a footballer, he's going to be an accountant, he's going to be this, he's going to be that. Because he knew nothing else. It's not because he smoked. Likewise, I've met somebody who has lung cancer and has never smoked. So there's an element of bad luck, there's a genetic thing, but your lifestyle plays a big part in what comes out. You get what you put in has a large effect on what comes out. So I've had to move from Nigeria. Everybody's been asking me where I've been. I have a lot of friends in this. I officially moved from Nigeria early this month because I do chemotherapy. I have to travel to see my doctor. My chemo reduces my immunity. I live in Lekki. I mean, I explained to you earlier on. I live in Lekki. Anyone that lives in Lekki in Lagos knows that we use boreholes to get water. If I take a shower in my house, I will look like a lizard by tomorrow because my immunity levels are so low, I cannot take a shower. At 51, director of a bank, I'm now having to boil water. I was having to boil water. They will boil my water at night, let it cool down, then in the morning I take it from the bucket. That's life. I have to make a big decision. Can I continue like this? No. So I've relocated. Not because I want to, but it's now become an essential part of my survival package. So Nigeria has its own problems. Stress. 4 months ago, some of my colleagues, some of them in this room, helped me out. I was ill. I was under a lot of pressure. Doctor, I had a lot of problems. My blood pressure went up. My immunity levels went down. My system collapsed. Guess what? My friends, some of my old classmates put me on a plane, got to see my doctor. My doctor looked at me, took my blood pressure. My blood pressure had gone through the roof, pushed my immunity down, and picked up a simple infection. I could not eat or drink for 5 days. And if I can't eat or drink, I can't use my medicine. So lifestyle, Nigeria has its own issues. But I tell you what, exercise also helps you against these things. You don't have to go and run a marathon. Do a little bit of exercise, try and stay healthy. So like I said, someone asked about eating, drinking, whatever. It's a lifestyle. Live healthy and you tend to improve your chances. Eat healthy, you will improve your chances. I think those are most of the questions that relate to me. What I will do, I've got some flyers printed. I'll leave them with the organizers there, they'll put them somewhere. It tells you about the charity we've set up. If you decide to do it, please, and you need advice, contact me or anybody else. But like I said, crucial fact for you chartered accountants, not just helping raise money and throwing it at them, going in there and making sure that you leave these entities, these hospitals, these diagnostic centers in a situation whereby they can be self-sustaining and therefore run on their own and therefore add value to the lives of fellow Nigerians by saving their lives. Thank you.
Thank you. One thing also we need to share with each other is this. You cannot be a Superman because your body has been created by God. Anytime you feel anything, discuss it with somebody. Anytime you feel anything, even if it's a simple headache, especially if it's an unusual kind of headache you're not used to, discuss it with somebody. Your spouse, your colleague in the office, your friend, but more importantly, your doctor. You are not a Superman, neither are you a superwoman. Do we understand that? Because we want to make this useful, this whole exercise useful for all of us. Those of us who have had practical experience, I mean, many things that I do now are things I never thought I would be doing. I don't wear a wristwatch, but I wear a wristwatch. This one I wear here tells me at any time my pulse, my BP at any time. And this is not too expensive. And when I posted of mine with him, he showed me his own too. Because both of us have had the experience. Don't wait until you have the experience. I hope you understand. Prevention is better than cure. Invest your money in it. When I shake it like that, I see the time. When I press this, I see my blood pressure. When I press this twice, I see my pulse. It's there with me. I hope you understand that. Let us change our lifestyle, invest our money on ourselves so we can live longer. Yes, we will go one day, but let this life, while we are alive, be useful to all of us. May God bless us. Now, Jacob, you have most of the questions. Oh yeah, so that because I think they enjoy you standing. Oh yeah, stand up. No, well, the problem we have, we want your permission now because you have to catch a flight. And these airlines is when they are running late that they leave on time. So we will want to, what do we need to do? Please guide us. Bring the present for him so he can go, otherwise I'll collect it for you. All right. I'll stand by him. With the president, yes, president. President, stand up, people, stand up. Yes. I have to give you some information. We were in school together. And now we know. Yes, I'm joining now, yes.
Mr. Baruch Oreapa, my brother, on behalf of the Council and the entire membership of the Institute, it is my honor and pleasure to make this presentation to you for your very, very important presentation to us and your advice. Yes, and wish you well.
Just a minute. Hadia, does our president have regular checkup? Does the president have regular checkup? No. She has reported you. I think we're going to the other president, so we don't call the president off twice. Right. Yes. Yeah.
It is a pleasure. This is not your first time here. You always come to our conference even when you are not presenting. You presented an excellent paper or advice to us for medical. We thank you very much. And please accept it from behalf of the Council and the entire delegates of this conference and the members of this. Thank you very much.
Now, Hadia, if the president does not go within 1 month, come to council and report. Okay? Thank you very much. Do we have me?
This is for our chairman. I'm sure you agree with me that our chairman has played a lead role in the very good session that we've had. And for this, Chairman, please accept this as a token of our appreciation for your services today. Thank you, Chairman.
Yes, I think you better go on quickly.
Yes, I will just address the remaining questions. Where's my notebook? Well, the questions, MRI, when you go for medical check, depending on what the doctor discovered, he will determine the next time you will come, not you. But the starting point is that you have to go at all for your situation to be assessed, and doctor will determine. Otherwise, once in a year is the average. Cerebral aneurysm. Now, blood vessels go around the body, including the brain. When there is high pressure, it can force the blood vessel to bulge. In other words, it's like a small swelling bulging out, and that bulging out over time becomes weak, and it can burst. When it bursts because of high pressure, then blood will flow out. Oxygen will no longer reach certain part of the brain, and stroke or sudden death can follow. Can you check your blood pressure and blood sugar without blood? Yeah, you say blood sugar, it's blood, the way we know it now. Blood pressure is simple, you don't need blood to check that, you need a device. But you cannot check blood sugar without contact with blood. But there are simplified ways it can be done, as we are doing it outside. Anti-fainted, brought to the hospital, low blood sugar level. If the person is on diabetic treatment and you don't have the device to monitor and taking the medication, if the medicine is overworking, you may not know until you get to the point of that collapse. That is why treatment for diabetes in this modern time can never be complete unless the person has said to check the blood sugar by himself or herself at home. Survived straight attack to get the full lecture. Well, all these things we are saying become meaningful when you apply it. And apart from the lecture, all these things we are saying, they are all embedded in this book that I showed you that has to do with hypertension, diabetes, and stress, which explains the triangle of silent killers completely. Attended stress management lecture like this has to reduce prostate cancer to ejaculate 21 times. Well, the number of times is relative, but the truth is that if you want to maintain prostate health, constant sexual interaction is part of the remedy. There is no need playing it. We are talking medical scientific facts. We are not in a place of worship. We are telling you that as an adult, you need regular, well, your spouses will help you out. But the moment you have a home that is charged stressfully, husband cannot perform, wife cannot show interest, the likelihood of developing any of these conditions is higher because what the prostate needs as food is the sex. The stomach cancer. Regular checks from time to time when you are having any ailment and you go for a place of treatment, no matter the doctor, and you are not getting real result, seek second opinion. Second opinion might be able to see what the other doctor did not see, especially in terms of available equipment, recent advances in medical knowledge and technology. So that second opinion may make the difference. Stomach cancer, what is the cause? Cancer generally no definite cause. However, certain lifestyles are known to be helpful. You exercise on a regular basis, you take certain foods that are free from fried, fatty foods, more of fruits and vegetables, and of course you monitor from time to time and have checks. Effectiveness of herbal medication. Well, it is difficult when you blanket all of them together as herbal medication. It will be difficult to be specific. However, we may be having a seminar today somewhere where we will look at the details of that so that we can now be specific on the ones you will use. That seminar will also have to do with financial empowerment, financial freedom, because we say health is wealth. Cancer, what you eat or drink, okay, that one has been addressed. At what age do you go for test? Well, now, any adult, start now. Era of technology, body sensors. disruptive effect on the devices. You keep phone at home, they say don't lie under your pillow. Yes, any of the technology has its rules. If you don't obey the rules, it's going to do more harm than good. You don't need to put your phone under your pillow. Are you hiding it from your spouse? Maybe you don't know. There's a button you will touch to lock your phone. Nobody can use it unless you open it by yourself. So you make use of that without disrupting anybody. And of course, we conclude that outside there, we are doing free blood pressure check for everybody. Make sure you check before you leave. That is the starting point. We will come early tomorrow morning as early as 7 o'clock. Those that are unable to check today will now check and know that. And eventually, all the affiliated societies, ICAN societies can also organize this workshop, and we'll explain it more. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Warning, please. Ejaculation does not solve all medical issues. And number 2, it is not a substitute for exercise. I hope we are clear about this. It is encouraged, but it's not the answer to all problems. Say we agree, we understand. On that note, thank you very much, Dr. Jacob. You're very good.